There are sirens going off right now.
There sure is.
Oh, we're live?
Well, hello, everybody. This is the Jacob Daily Show today with your host, Jacob Baker. And we're on a $10 budget here, so bear with us. Today, as our guest, we have Anarcho Josh.
Hi, I'm gonna die in a tornado.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the sirens going off, but we're doing this anyways.
Yep.
Balls to the wall. And as our moderator today, we have moderator Preston.
What up? I'm Preston. I'm going to keep everything fair. Make sure everybody gets the right amount of time.
Too high energy.
Too high energy.
Don't let... Sam's not a part of this.
Yeah, no, this is the Jacob Daily Show, not the Sam Daily Show. Completely different show. Yeah, so he can be however high energy he wants for this show. However, ultimately, the focus is going to be on me and Josh, because today we have something very, very special for you. The Battle of the Jays, the Battle of the Anarchos.
Yep.
We have anarcho-communist Josh. Whoops, my bad.
Yikes.
Ouch. Bear with me, I've only known him for like an hour. He's really cool though, I like him. And then we have ANCAP Jacob over here, so.
Who so far has been very respectful and not a total jerk. So that's been nice.
Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt.
What would you like to start with? Shall we start with anarcho-capitalism versus anarcho-communism?
All right.
Well, I was
hold
going to actually go over what me, Preston, and Sam did today.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so we arrived at the at Sam's house today. Me and Preston did at 4:22 in the morning, and we went to bed and woke up at 9, and then we went to Pride Fest down in Kansas City here. Would you have anything to say about that, Preston, about Pride Fest?
About the Pride Fest?
Yeah.
It was a great time. We met a lot of cool people. A lot of children there. That was something.
Lots of kids.
We talked to men who wore dresses or whatever, which was kind of cringe, honestly. They were kind of just LARPing or whatever.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. It was terrible.
Yeah, your opinions on it's terrible. But
What do you mean my opinions on it are terrible?
No, don't. Please, continue. Don't let me distract you.
Honestly, if I'm going to just cover it up, not cover it up, cover it the way that I would like to say it, is we had a very, very productive day recording and exposing the demonic practices of these people and what they do with their free time and how they choose to worship themselves instead of our Lord.
That is very true. And Josh laughs.
Yes, I do.
Why'd you laugh?
Why do I? Because I'm just... Christian rhetoric's just a little funny to me at this point. That's why. Because you just all sound so silly.
You should have heard what these people said in these interviews.
Well, I'm sure they didn't go to Pride Fest to be accosted by a bunch of Christians who wanted to interrogate them about their beliefs.
They openly admitted they want to groom their children.
You mean make them accepting of gay and trans people?
No, they said that they wanted their kids to be gay.
Well, I mean, great, but that's not really up to them.
Right, but
It's up to their children.
Whenever people force that onto something, especially in the early development stages.
Oh, are you saying that forcing your ideology onto children is bad?
Correct.
You mean, what if it's an ideology, I don't know, let's say a religion? Do you think that is just equatably bad?
If it's the wrong one, yes.
Oh, so there's such a thing as a right and wrong religion.
Yes.
What makes a religion right versus a religion wrong?
Well, one is the truth of the world and the universe.
Oh.
The rest are false
So,
practices.
the Earth being 6,000 years old.
Right. That's the age of the Earth.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, that's fun. That's good to know that we're talking about this level of Christian. Bible literalist is what I like to say. That the age of the universe is only 6,000 years old.
Correct.
And every bit of scientific data that says that that's not correct, you're going to completely throw out the window.
Well, science is a man-made interpretation of the world around us, correct?
And religion's not?
No.
How so?
Well, religion is spiritual. You know, the Lord came onto us, and He has provided us with knowledge and revelation.
Okay. You want to talk about Christianity? Is that where we're going with this? Because I would love to go with this.
Well, this is not the anarcho-capitalist.
No. Of course not. So, would you like to talk about that or Christianity?
I would rather have the battle of the anarchos first, and then lead into Christianity.
Sure. Okay. My opening statement for the anarcho-communism is better than anarcho-capitalism bit is we agree that government bad, and that's why we're anarchists. Mm-hmm. Would we not also agree that big corporations are bad?
No. Well, it depends on the corporation, but for the most part.
Aren't most of them doing shady things?
Sure, because they have the government to support them.
And if they didn't have the government to support them, wouldn't they still... But don't they also have the government restricting them from doing those nasty, icky things?
No, they have the government restricting their competitors from doing it while they pay the government to allow them to do it anyways.
Oh, I see.
You see, it's all about favors.
Yeah, so do you think
Which is why I hate the government.
But you don't think that, like... But the government's, you know, picking favorites or whatever, right?
Correct. Like the banks that were too big to fail.
Right.
Obama.
And then it failed. And then that's a whole different thing. God, I hate banks. So I have a serious problem with you thinking that big corporations aren't going to do the same icky things with or without a government. You're saying that they're only doing icky things because the government enables them. Well, if there's no government, then
they would have
there's nothing stopping them.
They would have competition in the
and you know what would probably help them outdo and out capital and whatever their competition? Child labor. That would be really good.
Until the customers find out about it and don't want to purchase their goods anymore.
Do you think that stops anyone from buying an iPhone? Do you think that stops anyone from buying anything at all? Do you think we are not so horribly disconnected from everything that we buy and interact with, the food we eat, the ground that we even walk on? Like, there's that all...
Well, you don't have an iPhone.
Horribly... No, I have an Android. Also probably built by child labor or whatever.
Right. Because the industry is so hard to get into because regulations put in place by the government that people can't really start companies to create phones.
Intelligent answer. But I would still say that, like, you can't just rely on competition alone. Like, competition, and also another big fundamental issue, not to pivot, I know I'm pivoting, I'm sorry. No, one big fundamental issue is, at least as far as capitalism in general goes, is everyone has to have a job. Right?
Right.
So, like, no socialist programs helping people. Like, are you pure capitalist, or like, are you like, let's implement some socialist programs like we do today?
No, I'm completely free market.
Oh, great. Okay.
I hate the term capitalist too. It's not even a real word. It's made,
anyway,
manifesto.
Yeah.
Communism.
Whatever. Words are fun, aren't they?
Free market is what it is.
Free market. Okay, so either way,
restriction.
Either way, the big problem I have here
naturally
is innovation and automation.
Right.
If we can have robots do all of our jobs.
Well, you have to have people make the robots.
Okay, but then what? The robots are made.
Okay.
And, like, sure, maybe we need some people to maintain
repair the robots.
Yeah. But is that all the jobs that we're going to have?
Well, they're also going to have people that design new robots to be more efficient.
And so just everyone's going to be working with robots. And what about the people who want to
mine the materials to build the robots, or to chemically alter substances that can be used in the robots? You need people that use the robots for work, because robots aren't going to be completely automated. They have to have some kind of...
But don't you see how the robots would definitely make the supply of jobs way less than the demand for jobs?
No.
You don't think that that's the thing?
No.
Why not?
Well, because think about it like this. How many companies, or how many people do you think had automotive jobs before the assembly line was created?
I have no idea.
Not very many.
Probably not very many, no.
No. But after the assembly line was created and they needed to mass manufacture these vehicles, they opened plants all over the country and hired many more people. So with the automation and with the rapid production came more jobs. This is always the biggest fall to that argument of automation, is that every time it's been used in the real world, it has created more jobs. The thing that sucks is the people who have been doing that job for 20 years then lose their job.
Right. So how do you account for that?
They need to save their money.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they need to hoard their wealth just in case they lose their job.
It wouldn't be hoarding their wealth.
At what point do you think that that's considered hoarding?
Like a realistic like dollar amount, or do you think like on a more like philosophical level?
Either.
Okay,
Whichever you're
like
more comfortable.
on a philosophical level, I consider hoarding to be when you are forgoing your moral principles in order to maintain money. So that would be like the love of money.
I see.
Right. And then on like a realistic level would be like a liquid $1 billion. Not like 1 billion in like, you know, solid assets, but like liquid amount.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, pivoting back to the first thing that we were talking about when it came to what was it? Oh yeah, child labor and exploitative nature of businesses.
But I do believe in an age of consent, right? And if you cannot consent,
how are you going to enforce that age of consent?
Well, with the parents and guardians and the rest of the society will just have to have the like set mind. Right. Like that's the whole idea here is in my ideal world, everyone bullies each other until they, you know, develop a one-track mind and unity.
Okay.
Because as I was trying to explain to you earlier before the show came on, humans are social creatures.
I am aware of that, yeah.
Yes. And so when you are being outcasted from society, you are going to try to fit in with society or find another society.
Don't you think that stops the halt of new ideas?
No.
How does that not, if you're going to think like everyone else?
Because it will create new ideas in line with that set of beliefs and values. Right. Science can be completely disconnected from values, especially in the STEM field.
So can capitalism.
Sure.
This is a part of the thing, is that...
Well, actually, kind of. I wouldn't actually agree with that last thing. After giving it just like 5 seconds of thought.
Go ahead.
The free market society is based entirely on property rights. Right? So what you purchase, what you own is yours, and you are the only one who has claim to that. You know, what you produce with your hands is yours until you agree with somebody else consensually to give that item to them.
Except it's not necessarily consensual because you'd have to make stuff for people.
No.
Or you're gonna starve.
Nah, you can live in the woods and make a bow and arrow and shoot at deer.
What if everyone owns the land? What if people own the land?
Well, then...
That's not your land. You can't shoot that deer. That's not your deer.
Well...
Property rights.
Okay, I can see that.
What if all the land is owned? Where am I going to go screw off into the wind? Am I allowed? Oh, yeah. Antarctica isn't owned. The moon isn't owned.
All the land in the U.S. right now is currently owned, either by private individuals or the government.
And so if we're talking about turning the U.S. into some sort of anarcho-capitalist nightmare dystopia, as all government systems are, or social structures or whatever, they're always going to be dystopian. Even anarcho-communism, but... like everyone owns the land. There's no land.
Okay, well then you make an agreement to purchase the land.
With what money?
Well then, yeah, you have to work.
Oh,
but that is, yeah. No, I'm conceding the point now.
Okay,
you do have to work, but I feel that's just human nature, anyways. Right?
That we want to work?
No, that we have to.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
if you want to eat, you have to make stick sharp.
Yeah.
Go chase deer. Stab deer with stick.
Correct.
That is a form of work.
It takes effort.
Yeah. And now the difference in a society is that you're working together for each other.
And not for personal profit.
Well, the personal profit is used to support yourself. Right? So you are helping. I would be helping you.
Right.
In not to help you, but to help myself.
Selfish.
So we both no. It's the opposite because we both gain. Let's say you want a house built.
Okay.
Right.
I want a house built.
Yeah. So I'm a foundations guy. Right. So I dig the hole, I pour the footers. Right. You give me money, Now you have the foundation to your house, and I have food on the table. We just helped each other.
Right. You know, we could do that without the exchange of money, right?
Sure.
I could give you food, and you could,
If you're a farmer.
yeah. Well,
But-
that's the dream.
Right.
Anarcho-communism has a lot of farms.
Yeah, but that's if you're a farmer.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say you're a lawyer.
Or a hospital gay or a doctor. That's what it is.
Well,
doctor.
or let's just say you're a harlot.
Or whatever. Sure.
Right.
Except a sex worker. Sure.
Yeah. No, harlot.
Whatever.
Whore.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say you're a whore, right? Are you a whore?
You're cute.
Ooh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, dog.
You're already sounding like a whore.
What can I say? I'm a dirty whore. Actually, to put myself out there a little bit on the camera, I'm actually, I would consider myself asexual. Which, do you know what that means?
You mean you're an incel?
No.
Yes.
Listen to me. Incel stands for involuntary celibate.
Yeah, that's you.
Very voluntary.
No, you're just coping with the fact that...
No, actually, I would say it has a lot to do with my Christian trauma, but, you know, there's that.
Christian trauma?
Yeah, because that totally is actually a thing, actually. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. No, Christians have never traumatized anyone ever. No, of course not.
Not real Christians.
No. Oh, not real Christians.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a lot of fake Christians out there.
So what constitutes... back to capitalism. Let's see. Where were we? Something about how people are going to have to work, right? People are going to have to work in any society.
Yeah.
And I'm totally okay with that. Anarcho-capitalism or communism totally makes sense. My problem is that when it comes to... So, no, hold on. You said that there is a moral limit to how much money one should be holding on to.
No.
Did...
No, I said there's a moral limit before it crosses into hoarding of wealth.
Okay.
Yeah.
But hoarding wealth, like...
It's immoral, but should not be disallowed.
I see. So...
I don't believe in the legislation.
When there's a bunch of monopolies running everything, because free market and all that, if I have enough money, I can just buy out all my competition. Jeff Bezos did it already.
Yeah.
With online selling.
He also bought a lot of farmland.
Well, he's bought a lot of things. He also bought like the main streaming service or whatever that people use that we're not on, actually, which is hilarious. But that's because they have crazy TOS, freedom of speech and all that.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, you see where my problem is, where it's like you're without any amount of intervention. Capitalism running free and rampant could easily turn into just a oligarchy of monopolies running the world.
Right, but then you have people who rise up against them.
As an anarchist should.
Yeah.
So you're just totally okay with creating a system where we... Oh, well, yeah, of course, you're a capitalist. You're totally okay with a system that falls apart every few years, right?
It's literally the system that has survived the longest. It existed before feudalism. It existed before communism.
I mean,
free market society.
We're talking about like very different versions of capitalism here when it comes to it lasting as long as it did. There's mercantile capitalism, sure, but that's not the same thing.
I mean...
And also, we're on a global scale with the rise of the internet. Like, things are not the same. To be all Marxist on you, don't you think there should be a progression of society past this? Because capitalism is all about generating wealth, right? Getting everything to a point.
Not entirely. I just explained that it's about using each other as tools to help each other. Yeah.
But you're generating wealth.
Like for everyone involved.
For yourself.
Primarily, that is the idea for the person, yes.
Right.
To profit, so that way they can survive and feed their families.
That's how a lot of these
prosper.
First world countries got to where they are. Is, well, first of all, through a lot of subjugation of other people and blah, 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 blah. But also, capitalism, you know, made everything, you know, free market made everything a whole hell of a lot better, it seems like. Sure. Like, at least that's what the capitalists say. At a certain point, like, shouldn't we start feeding the homeless people and, you know, provide housing and, like, all that? Like, shouldn't people who don't have any money to get a house so they can get a job, so they can, take a shower to go to a job interview or whatever, like, shouldn't we, like, implement some socialism there? Just a little bit?
This is why I believe we should bully people.
We should just bully people so they go and to other people's land in the woods so they can get shot by them because they're trespassing?
No, we bully people into helping these people.
Oh.
Right.
Don't you think that's
because
a little bit of a...
No, because that would be a part of the morally upright society that I would see. Right?
Right.
So we bully each other to keep ourselves in line as long as we don't use violence. This is why I believe the church has a very important role. Right? The church sets a guideline for morality. It sets it sets expectations on what it means to be a Christian. And
do you want to talk about Christianity now?
Well, I'm saying in my ideal, free market Christian anarchist society.
Christian anarchism. Yeah.
This is how I would see it.
Okay. Is we just bully each other.
Correct.
To make sure. And so, but when they don't do that, then
those people are going to go to hell.
Okay, whatever. So, like, the person who refuses to play nice and play along or whatever, and finds an abandoned house and squats in it even though it's not his and it's owned by someone else, refuses to work, refuses to leave, refuses to play nice, no matter how much bullying. Now they're going to starve to death.
Well, if he's refusing.
By the way.
Do what?
We're out of a tornado warning.
Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, we survived.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead and announce it on there. I think there's someone watching on Facebook. Can't see you yet.
Oh, yeah, we're out of the tornado warning, guys. So, let's go.
Now it's just storming.
Now it's just, yeah. But our lives aren't in imminent danger anymore.
I am so glad we went and got food when we did.
I'm glad.
Have you guys ever had a near-death experience?
Yeah, I hit a concrete wall at 80 miles an hour with no seatbelt on.
That's why you should wear your seatbelt.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's something. Do you think it should be, the government's responsibility
No.
to enforce you wearing seatbelts?
No.
Think the government should do that?
No.
No? What?
I think as a society, we should bully people into wearing seatbelts.
Correct. But I don't believe in, telling you that you have to pay the government money or else they put you in a cage because you didn't wear a seatbelt. And if you refuse to get in that cage, they just shoot you.
Right. Or, in the free market Christian anarchist society, you can just starve to death.
Well, that's if you refuse to work. He who doesn't work doesn't eat.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But even if I do work and I don't have enough money to, like, pay for the food, am I free to starve?
Food's not that expensive.
Depends on what food you're talking about. Good food that's going to keep you alive and healthy? It's pretty expensive.
I survive off of 67-cent SpaghettiOs and meatballs. I'm not even lying. I've eaten
When was the last time you've gone to a doctor?
In the Marines, so over a year ago.
Yeah. And you've been living off SpaghettiOs since?
Well, not since. For the past, month and a half, yeah.
That's a month and a half.
Of SpaghettiOs and meatballs, yeah.
I tried eating ramen, just ramen.
Oh, before the SpaghettiOs and meatballs, I ate nothing but ramen for a month and a half.
Yeah,
and
I ate a lot of ramen, and I was like, I feel physically ill by eating all this ramen. Like,
yeah. No, yeah.
There's no
I felt sick.
nutrition.
But SpaghettiOs and meatballs.
Hey,
A little more. Yes, Sam?
somebody said, I love Cunny.
They love what?
In the chat, somebody said, I love Cunny.
I don't know what that means. Thank you, Chatter, for your insightful comment. Much appreciated. Actually, you could just, comment whatever you want. It just helps the algorithm and all that. Praise be to the algorithm gods.
No.
Whatever. It was a joke. Chill out. God.
I think the boys want to hear the Christianity debate.
I've been preparing for over a week for this stupid Christianity debate. So
I am completely unprepared on this. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I have no notes taken out. My phone is off. Otherwise, I would pull up Bible verses and stuff.
Oh, don't worry. I got some for you.
Oh, fantastic! And I can explain to you how they don't contradict.
So,
because you're saying that they contradict.
Oh, you want to start with contradictions?
Yeah, because
Okay.
you believe that there's contradictions in the Bible,
well, there,
which is just false.
There is. Hold on. So, where is it? Give me my. No, that's just general blasphemy. Hold on.
You know you're going to hell, right?
Maybe. And may the angels and God himself never sleep while I scream curses to their name.
You realize, like, if God is real, which he is.
Oh, are you going to go ahead and pull the whole, what is it called?
No, I'm just saying having no faith is kind of retarded.
Oh, yeah. No, because you're talking about, dang it, that's systemic racism.
Are you talking about the square thing? You got, like, the four corners of the square where it's like hell, nothing, heaven. And it's like only.
Yeah, what is Pascal's wager? You're going to pull the whole Pascal's wager thing? My response to Pascal's wager is essentially, because the whole argument is like, well, what if you're wrong and there is a God that does care about your morality and the things that you do and then blah, blah, blah. Because that seems like a lot worse if you're wrong about that and then, you know, being wrong about a God exists, except for the fact that, like, you're wasting your entire life worshiping a God that isn't there. That's what you're wasting. That's the big problem, is you completely, like, are detaching yourself from the life that has been given to you here and now.
You really think so?
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Assuming that there isn't a God in this fictional universe.
Sure.
And you do spend your whole life worshiping a God that tells you to serve other people, to make yourself a servant and lower yourself, humble yourself, and help everyone else around you. You think that's a bad thing?
I'm sorry, moderator. Could you straw man, please? No, I'm just kidding. No. Bible says a lot more than that, dog.
Well, sure, but you just said, like, that'd be a waste of your time to help other people.
No. I said wasting your time believing that there's a God and not seeing reality for what it is. You're going through your entire life being completely delusional.
Morality is based on God.
Morality is not based on God.
Yes, it is.
Morality is based on empathy and human compassion.
Which comes from God.
Which comes from our brains.
And also
and
from
our
where God told us what is right and
Let's talk
wrong.
about, you know, contradictions in the Bible. Would you say that the Bible is pretty anti-incest? Right?
I mean, it depends on the context.
Oh, on the context.
Yeah.
So, like, what kind of context?
Okay, like, you can't sleep with the wife of your father or with a sibling that is from the same mother as you.
Oh. So when Abraham married his sister, that...
Are we saying that Abraham was...
Abraham absolutely married his sister.
Are you saying he's a perfect being?
I'm saying that he totally did incest.
Okay.
Oh, and then later, God blesses her and gives her a child.
Yes.
So God condoned the incest.
No.
No?
No. He did that in spite of the fact that they had sinned.
But they still did the incest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sin does not equal damnation.
Uh-huh. Except what? Except Jesus wasn't around, right? So,
well,
I mean...
Okay. So we're going to go metaphysical on you real quick.
Okay, go for it.
So in order to create something, you have to exist outside of that thing. You can't create the thing that you're within. So in order to create time, God has to exist outside of time. And since Jesus is God, Jesus also existed outside of time. So Jesus has always existed.
Have you ever thought about the fact that Christianity's polytheism?
It's not.
No, of course not.
It's one God.
Of course not.
One God
of course
with three
not.
aspects.
Well, with three aspects, sure.
Correct.
Sure. Not three gods.
No.
No, of course not. Okay. Would you say that, you know, abortion is probably anti-Christian? Is it in the Bible? It's like, probably shouldn't. Yeah. You know, oh, what is it? Oh, yeah. Numbers 5:11 through 31.
Hey, guys.
What?
We're running a poll. We're asking if Anarcho Josh is special. They're at a 57% yes.
I am special.
All right.
Because I'm an individual.
What about me? Am I special?
We'll find out.
That's the
We'll
next
hit
poll.
that poll. Yeah. Next. Yeah. If I can do it.
What's our viewership at?
You're at 42,000.
Ah, beautiful.
Weak numbers. Yeah, numbers 5:11 through 31. Yeah, a priest is instructed to curse an unfaithful woman with a miscarriage. Like, there's a whole practice that, like, may God smite the unborn child within this woman if she's to be so unfaithful to have sex and
Well, right.
get pregnant.
God can kill people. He's God.
But it's a priest who's doing the ritual. So God, it's okay for God to do an abortion, but just not us.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
God commanded us not to kill people, but God
got it.
straight up erased 2 cities off the existence of the earth.
Yeah, a good and loving God he is.
Correct.
Yeah, sure.
He is loving to the people who love him, and he is a very just God to his enemies.
Okay.
Correct.
Do you see how someone might not want to be a part of your religion?
No.
No.
I really don't get it.
No, you really don't.
I really don't.
I know you don't. I know you
Like
don't.
when you hear that, like, all your enemies will be defeated
Yeah.
by the creator of this world.
When you hear the lie about
No,
all your
that's
enemies,
not
and then
honest.
they point to everyone that is different from you and says those are your enemies,
not the
and
ones
they
that are
will be
different from you.
Are
The
you
ones that are
kidding me?
evil.
Yeah, you mean the
I mean the gays
the gays,
Yes.
the people who are
and the Jews
the raising children.
and the Muslims and anything that's not Christian, because they're.
Do you hear how? Like, not to pull the whole
No,
fascist
but
card,
no,
like,
no,
do you
no.
hear how fascist that sounds?
No, I believe that they have the right to do so. They have the right to worship freely. But at the end of the day, God's going to.
So God's a fascist.
God's a king.
Oh, so
Yes.
God's monarch. See, another thing, as an anarchist, since we believe in the dissolution of any unnecessary hierarchy, is God not the ultimate pinnacle of a hierarchy?
Correct.
And should we not?
I have no king but Christ.
Yeah, I know.
Right. That's the thing, is because he is the creator of everything, and he is all that is good. He is the only authority.
This is everything that you've been told.
No.
You've only been told these things.
No.
What evidence do you have that there even is a God?
Well, I'm not sure. You know what? Screw it. Do we want to get personal and like really dark real quick?
If you want.
Okay. So, about 6 months back, maybe it was a little bit longer, maybe 7 or 8 months. Either way, I tried to kill myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Glad you're still here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I had a pistol, and I flipped the safety off the pistol, put it to my chin, and pulled the trigger. But the safety was still engaged, even though I know I had flipped it off. And when I looked at the gun, I hear this loud, thunderous boom, and when you hear the voice of God, there's no question like, oh, maybe that's Satan, or maybe I'm imagining it. Like, you hear it and you're like, that's God, right? He's my creator, and he goes, your life is mine to take. That's the only thing. The only thing I heard, your life is mine to take. In this loud, commanding, thunderous boom of a voice. And it's really hard to describe the terror and love that I had felt in that moment as I started sobbing, cried, and just like fell to my knees, absolutely devastated and terrified, because I knew that my God had been watching the entire time and knew every evil thing that I had done.
So, my response to this, not to be insensitive,
Okay.
could it totally possibly be that your brain panicked and set off every single nerve in your brain to freak you the hell out?
It wouldn't explain why the safety re-engaged.
Didn't flick it all the way.
No, I definitely did. I heard it go click.
I don't know, man. People have very personal, crazy experiences when it comes
very
to
adept with
aliens
firearms.
and ghosts and all sorts of crazy metaphysical stuff.
Well, most of that stuff is demons.
Oh, of course, it's demons.
Right.
Right.
But when you hear the voice of God, you know it's God.
But wouldn't you just think you know that it's God?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, buddy.
Well, you said something that I hadn't been told, so I gave you a personal example.
No, I understand.
Right. So it had to be anecdotal, because that's what you wanted.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So
But even then,
I'm just saying
that's my problem, though.
you
It
can't
has
argue,
to
you
be
can't-
anecdotal.
Right. You can't argue with my
There's-
anecdotal evidence.
There's
though, if you're-
no
if you're saying that, oh, well, maybe you just
even
did this or that.
you know, even I could, because I'm kind of a theist myself, to be honest, but I'm very pro science. Like, Earth isn't.
They don't contradict.
Yes, they do. If you think the Earth is 6,000 years old, that completely contradicts science.
No.
That's a red herring.
That is not a red herring.
No. And actually, I'd like to get into this discussion. That is a
Sure, please.
That is a how would I put this? A misstep by the scientific community. So it's
So
not-
they're just wrong.
yes.
You're just not going to. I mean, I hate to submit to, appeal to authority, I think. That's another logical fallacy, except it's a false appeal to authority, or appeal to a false authority, but I don't think they're false authorities. Scientists.
I think some of them are.
Some of them, sure. But most
Because
of them,
like all other people are
usually how the scientific community works is pretty much everyone has to agree with you for you to be taken seriously. Like, they have to do the same study.
So agreement means
No. They have to, like, do the exact same thing, same kind
but
of study you
consensus
did.
equals truth.
As close as we could probably get it. I mean, I understand that the consensus way back in the day was that the Earth was flat and it was the center of the universe. And then science came along
Well,
and
that was the
disproved it.
science.
No, but it wasn't science.
So we're on the same
It was
page.
speculation.
That the Earth is 6,000 years old.
But that's not scientific consensus. Wait, no, we're not. What do you mean?
Well, if the scientific consensus was that the Earth was flat, and the scientific consensus now is that the Earth
It's
is
not
billions of years
scientific
old.
consensus. That's
it
just
was.
consensus. There's a big difference.
Well, it's
Because they did studies. They proved it empirically.
you had
And
all
then
of
everyone
these
else
scientists
went,
saying
oh,
the
I
Earth
don't
is
know
flat.
about that. I don't know. That seems a little sus. Let me do the same thing and make sure, there isn't no mumbo jumbo going on. And they did it. And they're like, wow, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, that's how this is run. And then everyone else goes, I don't know. And then they all do it. And they're like, oh, yeah, like, Earth isn't flat. Oh, my God. Like,
Well, okay. Do you believe the moon landing took place in 1969?
it's possible. I don't know. It could also be staged. It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we've probably been to the moon by now. But
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Why?
Well, then your non-answer.
I mean, come on,
doesn't
you're
allow me
talking to an anarchist who doesn't trust the government. Of course,
Right.
I think the moon landing may have been fake. Not
Right.
saying confirming it, but yeah, it's possible.
Yeah,
Like-
but you saying it's possible doesn't allow me to. It doesn't give me a leg to stand.
I
on.
know.
You smart man.
I know. I'm sorry.
So,
yeah.
what's your next point?
No, I mean, I have a whole bunch of. I think one of the linchpins of Christianity and why everyone so fervently believes in it is biblical prophecy, right? Or am I wrong?
I would say.
Is that not a big part of it?
I mean, I would say that people probably turn to the Bible because of prophecy.
Right? Like prophecy of the end times and
Yeah.
prophecy of Jesus returning and whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. Most of those, if not all of those, have nothing to do with modern day. Most of them were about stuff that was going on in their time when they wrote
Well,
about
sure,
it and
like
talked about it.
666 is Nero Kaiser, alphanumerically converted, but that itself is a metaphor for the Antichrist because Nero Kaiser was the first, Roman emperor to start persecuting Christians.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay, so going back to Rome, right?
Uh-huh.
Nero started persecuting Christians.
Okay.
He was turning them into candles. He was throwing them in barrels, sticking knives down the barrels, and then rolling them down hills,
Uh-huh. Doing terrible stuff. Got it.
nailing them to crosses, etc.
Uh-huh.
Right. So they see him as the Antichrist at the time, not as
Right.
the official the Antichrist, but as a symbol
Yeah,
for
they
the
talk about
Antichrist.
multiple antichrists
So
and whatever.
when you take Nero Kaiser, convert it into Hebrew, and then alphanumerically convert that to numbers.
do you hear yourself right now? Alpha, you're converting it to numbers?
Yes, because that's how Hebrew numbers work. They're letters. Like A would be 1, B would be 2,
Okay.
C would be
interesting.
3.
All right. No.
So when you convert Nero Kaiser to Hebrew,
Mm-hmm.
and then you look at those letters as numbers and add them all together,
Mm-hmm.
that is 666.
Okay. That's fun.
Right. So when you go to Revelation and it says, the the mark of the beast is the number 666, it is saying that the mark of him is the same that is of Nero, that he is persecuting Christians. Right. But you also look at Revelation, and it talks about nuclear bombs dropping, fighter jets scattering.
Would you like to?
Yeah, okay. Let's think about this, right? It talks about the star falling from the sky and creating a massive crater in the ground, and then after that, all the locusts swarm out of the bottomless pit.
That sounds like a bunch of sci-fi nonsense.
Okay. So the locusts that come out of the bottomless pit are described as having the faces of men and the tails of scorpions and the bodies of horses.
Who was the person who wrote Revelation?
John of Patmos.
Yeah, don't you think he just did a bunch of psychedelics?
No.
And thought of all this?
No, because John of Patmos is John the Apostle.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of John, to be honest.
Why not?
Why not? Hold on. Why am I not a fan of John? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Christianity's not good because of the Crusades, or religion in general. Well, that's just a
Hey, guys.
completely separate point. Yes, Sam?
The polls are in. Scale to 1 to 2, 2 being the best. How nice is Jacob's tan from attending Pride Fest? It's 100% say a 2.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a tan too, but okay, whatever.
That's not fair. You're Hispanic.
I'm not Hispanic, dude. Back on topic.
Your tan looks great, sweetie. No, I was thinking of not John. I was thinking of Paul. Paul
You don't like
sucks.
Paul?
No, Paul sucks.
Why?
Because he totally doesn't care about slavery. Because there's a lot of slavery in this book that you seem to take as doctrine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which were less of actual slaves and more of a class of people, but correct.
Okay, but still bad, right? Still advocated for it.
Where does it advocate for it?
Oh, Colossians 4. Paul advises members of the church to treat their slaves justly. Doesn't tell them not to own slaves, but to treat them justly. Sure, that's commendable. Okay. Ephesians 6:5 through 8. Paul encourages slaves to be obedient to their masters.
Well, sure, that's like kind of the entire ideology of Christianity.
Yeah, it's to be obedient to authority because subjugation and, you know.
Well, because the best way to defeat an enemy is to let them misstep.
No, yeah, but also, no. Like, I don't understand what you mean. So then the slave should then, what, kill them or whatever after the fact, or what?
No. So, how do I put this? If you have a system that is doomed to fail from the start.
Which is every system.
Yeah, I can actually see that.
Okay, I'm glad we agree on that.
So you have a system that is doomed to fail from the start.
At least when it comes to people. Yeah.
Do you try to stop it from failing if it's bad, or do you let it fail to be replaced with something better?
Yeah, it depends on what your motives are and what you get out of it.
So are you not an accelerationist?
What do you mean?
No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Because, like, I mean, bring it back to the anarcho thing. Government totally bailed out every single thing that terrible.
Do you know what accelerationism is?
No, I don't. Enlighten
Okay,
me.
so accelerationism is the...
Is this like transhumanism?
It's the guy who was like the founder of transhumanism was an accelerationist.
Okay.
But accelerationism is the idea to just, rather than living in modern society, which is garbage and sucks, we're going to push for it to spiral out of control until it's inevitable collapse, so you speed up the process.
Very anarchist.
To a point.
Just in a different way.
Right, because it's
I can see the usefulness of that.
Right, but
also...
But that inevitable collapse could end up with, fascist overlords.
But then, also, yeah, you're just making everything worse for everyone else in the crappy system. Even though it's bad, you're just going to make it really bad, really fast. And then, what if you're wrong? What if it doesn't collapse and you just made it really bad? I think accelerationism has a lot of issues with it, if you ask me.
Sure, I can see that. I mean, I guess it depends on the...
So basically, you're advocating for slaves to be subject, to be obedient to their masters. Don't fight back. Don't leave. Be obedient.
Not necessarily in the way that you're seeing it, because like I said, slavery back then was not as much of the ownership of people as it was a class of people. Like it wasn't the same way that it was in the 1800s.
It wasn't. So they weren't getting beaten or.
Well, I mean, everyone was getting beaten.
Right.
Right. That was punishment back then. They'd throw rocks at you, or they'd nail you.
Yeah.
To a
No.
cross.
I think, like, no matter how you're trying to redefine slavery, it still seems like slavery.
Well, even the non-slaves are getting like stoned in the streets.
Yeah, that's great. Also bad. What is your
My point-
slavery bad? I don't know if you know this. Slavery not good. I think your Bible should say something about not owning slaves. Just saying. Another one, Philemon 1:1 through 125. Paul actually returns some guy's slave, sends him back to him, goes, "Here's your slave back, buddy." Like, and he sure he goes, "Oh, but treat him as you would treat me." But like,
Yeah, as a human,
yeah,
as a person, treat him
but
as a
still as a slave.
I mean, okay, I can see where you're coming from. I'm not well enough equipped to argue the slavery point. I'm gonna admit.
And I don't want to just sit here and be a jerk and just like try to tear apart every single part of your religion, even though I've been listening to atheistic rhetoric for the past week, and I kind of want to shoot myself. But like, can we not cherry pick the stuff out of the Bible? Like, advocates for slavery. It's like it tells you how to own your slaves and beach. It doesn't tell you not to own slaves.
Why is slavery wrong?
Why is slavery wrong? Because you're impeding upon the freedom of other people, which is wrong.
Do those other people have value?
I believe every person has value.
Especially those who are slaves?
Yes.
What kind of value do they hold?
Like, what dollar amount are you talking here, Josh?
Yeah, I'm not talking about dollars. Okay, great. I'm glad we're done with that. I think Jesus was a socialist. Oh, yeah. Back to my whole thing about Christianity. Again, I don't have a problem with believing in a God, right? But let's not just go completely against all the empirical data that says that the Earth is 6,000 years old, or let's not go against let's not take every single word in the Bible completely literally, because I believe it was written by 2,000-year-old Jews who had some really great concepts about what a God should be.
Not
at
all
least
of them
to
are Jews,
some of them. Yeah, I know some are Greeks and Romans and blah blah blah, Egyptian, whatever. I don't care. But like, they have some all right ideas. Like the concept of God in Judeo-Christian religions, probably the best monotheistic concept of God I've ever heard, honestly. Great concept, right?
Judeo-Christian isn't a thing.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's not a thing.
Y'all worship the same God, don't you?
No.
No. Completely different? What do you mean?
They don't believe in the Holy Trinity. So it's not the same God.
No, my God. Is the God from the Old Testament not the same as the God from the New Testament?
It is, but the Jews don't worship the Old Testament, or they don't actually like worship the same God that's in the Old Testament. They diverged after Christ.
Hey, we ran another poll here. It says, will Anarcho Josh ever be a cunny bro? 50% of the audience said, yeah, maybe. And then the other 50% said no.
I don't know what that means.
I think it means cute and funny.
Well, I am cute and funny.
So
That's a straw man.
I wouldn't say you're very cute.
Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder and all that.
Is it? I find beauty to be objective.
We can talk about the objectivity of good art later at a different maybe after the show.
I'm not even talking about art. I'm talking about people.
Whatever. Beauty, people, art.
Health is beauty.
But also, I could make a case that objectivity isn't a thing either. But whatever. So, I mean, there's that.
Is that plant green?
Depends on how you define green.
Is that plant behind you green?
I mean, there's a whole lot of different shades of green. What kind of shade of
But
green
is
are
it
you
green?
talking about?
Yeah, but you just said there's multiple shades of green. So would you say that plant as a whole is green?
Look, okay. Again, we're getting off topic here. We can have this conversation.
We've got a question. Somebody asked. I don't think they know their names, but they just went ahead and said, "I have a question for the gay cyber pirate,
Preston?
cyberpunk
That would not be me.
Yeah,
it would be
Preston?
this guy.
What?
It would be Josh.
What's the question?
They wanted to know the difference between the New Testament and the Old Testament.
Preston?
That's not for
No.
me.
What's the difference? I don't know. The words are different. Is the God different? I don't think so. Not
No,
really.
The God's the same. However, after the New Testament, the people were freed from law and were given grace.
Do you not see how Jesus was kind of like a radical socialist?
No.
You don't see that?
No.
You want me to read my notes off here or explain to you why?
You can try.
Okay, well, first of all, Jesus was pro-genital mutilation because he was very for the advocation of loving eunuchs for who they are. And so there's that. And actually, eunuchs back in that day
I don't think that means he was pro.
they were
genital
hotly
mutilation.
debated. It was hotly debated, like it is today with Christians right now when it comes to trans people. Hotly debated about if there's too many eunuchs, it's going to be the fall of society, you know? Jesus was like, nah, you should like love those people. Like,
Right, because he believes that you should love everyone.
Right. It's because you should love everyone.
That's not
That has
saying
nothing-
that you should love the fact that they cut their
Well,
penis off.
hold on. Let's define love here. What is love exactly, though?
Love is an action. It is more than just an action, but it is a state of mind towards somebody to where you are actively seeking and helping them to achieve their best life.
Would you agree, Josh?
To a degree.
Like, a lot of people define love as an emotion, but it's not.
I agree with that. Love is well beyond an emotion. I would
Okay.
say love is an art form, actually. Like, hey, Sam, shut up. Yeah, I would say love is an art form, and it's a practice that should be put into practice daily. Because if you were to ever make the commitment that you are going to love someone forever, you should be really good at it.
We got a question in the comments that says, "How do gay people show love to one another?"
That's
I
a
think
dumb
that question. I think that question's for Preston.
For me, how do they show love to each other?
Oh, yeah, how do you show love to your lover?
Well, I mean, you can't really. I mean, can gay people really love? You know? 'Cause,
Yes.
Like, how?
By,
If they tell other gay people not to be gay.
Yeah, that's actually right.
that's
That is very
so
true.
stupid and horrible. Also, when it comes to like being the apostles, he definitely advocated for also being a nomad. You know, because that's kind of their shtick, is they walked around being nomadic people. They said, you know,
Well, you're to spread the word.
yeah,
Right? And
be
which
nomadic.
is loving everyone.
Which isn't necessarily. I guess that isn't necessarily capitalist if you're nomadic.
I mean, it could be.
I mean, it could be, but not in this day and age.
Think about it. The Jews walked around and sold goods to everybody. Gypsies did the same.
Fair point, actually. But still, nomadic. I like the idea.
We got one more question here. Is
What, Sam? What's the question?
losing it.
Is it directed to me about something stupid about how do gay people love each other or some shit?
No, they found out your name and they said directly to Anarcho Josh, "Why do you dress like a cyberpunk gay pirate?"
Yeah, because I like the way it looks. God, I don't know why I ever chose to be on the internet. Yeah.
I also like how it looks. I think it fits your style.
Thank you so much. To go down my list of shut the. To go down my list of
The red and
socialist
black is
Jesus.
very communist.
Yeah, I know, right? Actually, I love the red and black combo way before I decided to be anarcho-communist, so that's fun. Matthew 6:19 through 21, Jesus tells you not to hoard wealth. Luke 16:13, Jesus says not to save money. 1 Timothy 6:10, so the love of money is the root of all evil. We all love that one, huh? The Matthew 19:21, sell your possessions and give it to the poor. In my favorite one, Matthew 19:23, where he tells the rich man, that it is harder to put a camel through the eye of a needle than to be a rich man and go to heaven. Seems very anti-capitalist to me.
No, it's anti-greed.
Or it's anti-wealth hoarding, in which capitalists promote.
No.
See, because under communism...
We promote profit.
Under communism...
But not wealth hoarding, right? Like, that's the whole idea is in my society, we'd bully people, and we would...
You'd bully them, and they wouldn't care, and then they'd hoard wealth,
but
and
then the people bullying them would just boycott them, and then they wouldn't have any
they'd
more
boycott
wealth.
the monopoly?
Okay, hold on.
They'd boycott the monopoly?
Yes.
Okay. So when I have a monopoly on the whole medical industry, they're going to boycott it.
Well, you wouldn't.
Oh, I wouldn't?
No.
No. Why not? Because of a free market nonsense? We had a free market. When the monopolies happened.
Well, it's more of a... It's not a monopoly. And that's because of the government intervention. But the reason why we have this oligarchical pharmaceutical, like, same 10 companies ruling everything in the pharmaceutical industry is, like I said, government intervention. But it's still not a monopoly.
How?
There's still 10 options, right? But like, let's back it up even further. Back in the day, you were probably alive for this when Bell Company got dissolved into like AT&T, Bell South. They had all these different ones, and then now AT&T just bought everybody back up. But they're not.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, and I rock AT&T. Because I think it's cool that I am a part of this. You know, I use the service of the guy who invented the telephone.
Okay, great.
Right. So that's me. But, that and because Verizon rips you off. But see, boom, right there. I made a choice. I chose to not go with Verizon and chose to go with AT&T.
Okay.
But I could also choose to, like, not have a phone, like, service. And I could probably be just fine.
Yeah, probably.
You're right. I'd actually probably be better off.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think there's something that we can agree on is that when it comes to big corporations and making money, especially when it comes to your phone, you're the product. You're the attention.
You know what monopolies we do have in this country?
What?
Like city power, city utilities.
Oh, yeah. I'd agree with that. That is pretty monopolization. We would say that the government has the monopoly on power.
Right.
Right?
Which is messed up.
It is, but...
They also have a monopoly on violence.
Yeah. Power, violence, whatever.
Oh, when you said power, I thought you meant, like, electrical power.
No, well,
That's what I was talking about.
both apply.
I was going to say, because I was talking about, like, plumbing and electric.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, power. I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, if that's how you want to call electricity.
Yeah.
But...
So, yeah, how do you fight monopolization?
All right, we got one more last question here.
What is it?
They're just wondering if you'd ever had monkeypox.
I don't know what that is, so probably not.
Okay.
I think if I did,
It's
I'd probably
AIDS.
go to the... Oh, wow. So
Not really. It's like new AIDS.
It's AIDS 2.0.
Yeah. New AIDS going
Okay.
around. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, you should look into monkeypox. It's like a thing that's happening.
I don't want to scare myself with another
Because
disease.
COVID went away, so now monkeypox had to come in.
Well, I mean, like, that... When it comes to the COVID stuff, I mean, like, we've had a whole bunch of, like, pandemic scares before. COVID was just the one that was serious.
COVIDs.
COVIDs. You're correct. Multiple variations.
No. COVIDs, as in, like, the AIDS.
Oh.
Like, the big AIDS scare.
What? Yeah.
Which wasn't real. And then, like, the COVID scare, which also wasn't real.
I mean, it was the scare was real.
No, well, the scare was, but not, like, it didn't have legitimate reasons to be.
Really?
Correct.
You mean the sickness that kills old people and babies isn't...
Like every other sickness?
Yeah.
And also, it didn't really kill
Yeah.
babies, but it killed old
Whatever.
people.
I don't care. It killed people.
It killed fat people.
And it killed fat people.
Yeah.
And you're all about that, I'm sure.
No, I'm for fat people losing weight.
Hey, somebody asked about Preston. Are you actually Hispanic?
Yes, he is.
Okay, don't speak for me, first of all, Jacob. No, I'm not Hispanic.
Well, you're my junior, so.
I'm your junior?
Well, yeah,
Excuse
you're
me?
18.
All right.
He's more of a junior bacon cheeseburger.
That's strike one. That's strike one on the record for Jacob. Move to Josh.
Ooh. So yeah, I don't think that just a fun boycott is going to stop monopolization, especially when it comes to stuff that's necessary.
Such as?
The medical industry?
I mean, it's kind of hard to monopolize, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't think so.
Because I feel like chemicals are pretty easy. Like, dude, there's like
Bruh.
3 companies that make meth to be legally sold to kids.
I know.
You know how many backwoods dudes make meth in a lab or in a shed or in a toilet? Like, do you really think it'd be that hard?
This isn't just your
Antidepressants
I
can
want
be
to talk
completely
about
replaced
a
by
logical
LSD
fallacy here.
and
Logical
just
fallacy here.
microdosing.
Logical. I mean, I agree with that, but again, logical fallacy here.
You wouldn't
where
need
you're just
SSRIs
like,
anymore.
well, they're just selling meth, and that's all they're doing. And I could sell meth, and it's just, like, come on, man.
No,
like,
I'm serious,
They're doing
though.
so much more than just that. Are they not? And I'm not like this is an oligarch here. Like they basically have a monopoly as of right now. Again, Jeff Bezos basically has a monopoly on selling items on the internet.
How many companies make medical supplies and equipment?
Oh, what, like 4? I don't know.
No, probably like
No,
thousands.
there's probably like a few.
Probably
yeah.
thousands.
Yeah,
That's a lot of companies to choose from.
yeah, but
I'm sure at least one of those, like 2,000-3,000, has like
we're talking about medical equipment.
moral.
And even then,
You know.
you want to like the privatization of what if I can't afford health care?
Then go get a damn job.
Then go get a job. And what if I can't afford a house and health care? What if I can't afford a house,
You
food,
should
health care? What if I
probably
can't
invest
afford
in
a
yourself.
kid, food,
Yeah, I-
Right?
healthcare,
No.
house?
But see, like what you're failing
What
to
about
realize is,
minimum wage? What about minimum
no, there
wage?
should
Don't you
absolutely
think
be
there should be-
zero minimum wage.
Okay, all right, everybody, settle down. All right, let's settle down.
No,
for a
it's
second.
just putting it. No, hold up. Minimum wage is kind of retarded.
disrespect the
no,
moderator.
No, hold up. Just chill for a second, Preston. Let me speak on minimum wage real quick because
Okay, go
I
ahead,
hate
go
minimum
ahead.
wage. Minimum wage is the stupidest idea ever to cross into the minds of any politician ever, because ultimately what you're doing is let's say the minimum wage is $7.25. I don't know if that's what it is here in Missouri, but that's what it is in Tennessee, right? 7.25. So let's say you make 7.25. What's the difference between making 7.25 and when the minimum wage is 7.25 and $15 when the minimum wage is $15?
Wait, what? What's the question here?
What is the difference?
The money amount.
No.
Oh, are you saying because then it causes all sorts of financial, like economic nonsense to where
Yes.
it makes it worth the same?
Because
or whatever?
ultimately, if you're on the bottom of the earning bracket, that's what your buying power is. Your buying power will be that of the bottom of the earning bracket.
And don't you think your buying power should still like allow you to live?
It depends on what marketable skills you have.
So my worth is only inherent to my skills.
Your worth is only inherent to how much you can contribute to society.
Okay. So how much do I have to contribute to society before I get to like live my life?
I mean,
Like to have a house?
depends on. You mean like owning the house, or you mean like renting?
Yeah, I think owning the
Which
house.
it's
and
kind of
also,
ridiculous.
If you
Why
want
is
to talk
renting
about
a house more expensive than owning?
because landlords are evil. They're terrible scum of the earth on this society. I hate landlords. If you're a landlord, go get a different job. I don't want
I
to.
don't know. My landlord's pretty cool.
No, I don't care how cool your landlord is.
Yeah, people who invest in property and land are gay.
Shut up, Sam. No, you're scum of the earth. Landlords. How dare you? How dare you? You're not providing a service.
Are you trying to say that gay
I mean, they do
people,
maintain
gay
the
people
property.
are the scum of the earth?
Sam? I'm saying that being a landlord is inherently immoral.
Yeah, I know, but it was you said the scum of the earth, and it was right after I compared landlords to gay people.
Okay, sure. Whatever. I don't think being a landlord is inherently moral.
You heard it here, folks.
And then I think...
And Josh hates the gays.
Yep, totally. That's why I fight for them every time I'm on this show.
He fights the gays.
Is
every
that
time he's on this
because
show.
do they need help? What?
I thought you weren't going to be a part of this show. Episode is not called the Sam Daily Show.
No, yeah.
I'm
this
getting
is the
tired, and I
Jacob
want it to
Daily
be
Show.
over.
Then
Oh,
you
do we
can
wanna-
just tell us to wrap it up, dog.
Actually, I ended the stream like 20 minutes ago.
Are
Did
you
you actually?
serious?
No, it's still going.
Wouldn't put it past you, Sam. Would you like us to wrap it up?
I mean, I'd be down to wrap it
Honestly-
up so I can drink beer with you, Josh.
Honestly, I'd like all three of you guys to wrap it up.
To wrap it up.
Wrap it before we tap.
Yeah. I would not like...
Anyway, Jesus was
Especially
a
you,
socialist.
Preston. We don't need any
No,
more
he wasn't.
Hispanics.
Okay.
He believed in personal responsibility. That's my issue with the conservative movement, right? Is they furloughed the responsibility of the individual onto the government.
I think part of the problem is you're trying to put too much emphasis on the responsibility of the individual.
No.
Okay.
And I refuse to elaborate further.
Okay. Fair.
No, individuals. I mean, I believe that what is a society but a collective of individuals. So ultimately, individuals have to do
but
things to make things happen in a
also,
society
it's a collective.
of individuals.
A community, one might
Of
say. Of
individuals.
individuals. Yes. We have both. Okay? Forests and trees here is what we're talking about.
Yes.
You're talking about
But a
trees, and
forest
I'm
is
talking
made
about
of trees.
forests. Right.
And those trees grow
And so
to make the
what I
forest.
think you're doing is
But if
putting
you're removing the
too much
responsibility-
emphasis on the fucking
you
trees.
guys are doing a bit too much interrupting here.
If you're putting the emphasis on the forest to grow and not the trees to grow to make the forest, then that's where you have an issue.
And if you want to make a forest out of just one tree,
I mean,
it's going to
it'll-
take a long time.
Yeah, but it'll work. They'll drop those acorns down, and then those acorns will grow into new trees, and then they'll drop new acorns, which will grow into new trees, and then you get a forest.
But what if you need a forest right now?
Then you go buy one.
Just go buy it. Like,
Wait, are you actually advocating for the state right now?
what do you mean?
I just said they furloughed responsibility off of the individual and onto the state, and you're like, yeah, but the state good.
No.
That's literally, yeah, that's just what you said.
No, absolutely not. I was saying that you and your philosophy puts too much emphasis on the individual.
So put it on the state instead.
No, absolutely not. It's about the community, and it's about
Which
culture.
is made of individuals.
I'm going to kick your ass, so help me God. Or I'll at least try. All right, I'll get one good swing in before I hit the ground, but I'll do it, damn it.
Yeah, but we asked you if you wanted a box, and you said no.
You're right.
Wait, you said no?
Well, I said maybe we should at least do a little bit of training, and also maybe have a medical professional on standby
I'm a
in case
medical
one of us.
professional.
Yeah, but if the medical professional
certified.
gets punched in the face
really,
and has
but I
a
have training.
concussion, I don't think I trust that medical professional to do its job.
You couldn't
Josh,
give me a
did you even
concussion.
have a childhood, bro? You
No,
told me
it-
you never boxed in the backyard with the boys?
I was an only child for like
course.
half of my childhood.
Hey, in all fairness, you didn't know what brisket was.
Who cares?
Yeah, what kind of... How does an 18-year-old not know what brisket is? All they think about is food and women.
That's not true.
It is absolutely true.
No. My childhood was ended short, so I'm making money moves.
Ended short.
Yeah.
You're still a child.
I'm not a child. I got an apartment, bro.
Legally, you're not a child, but I would say that mentally, you're probably still a child.
I got an apartment.
I would say I'm a child.
dude.
I would say
work
I'm a child as well.
Full time,
Yeah.
80 hours a week.
I would say that.
I would say
anyone
I'm a
who's-
lot closer to being a man than most people my age, but I'm not a man yet.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm basically
Dumb,
man.
arbitrary labels that don't mean anything. Everyone's an idiot
No,
child.
It means
Everyone's a
it means
dumb
lot.
monkey. Everyone's a dumb monkey. Admit it. Everyone.
what does it mean to be a
Everyone.
man?
Everyone.
What does it mean to be a man?
Well, you can be a man if you choose to identify as one.
What does it mean to be a woman?
If you choose to identify as a woman, then that
But
makes you
like,
a woman.
why would somebody choose to identify as a woman?
Why would they not want to? Women are great.
Why would they not want to identify as a man?
No, men are great. Who cares? Let them have a choice.
But like,
Isn't this a country of freedom?
sure, but I still think these people should be bullied.
We should go to the women's locker room later.
Yeah, right.
Josh.
But like, so what? No. But what identifies a
not
woman?
even gonna-
What attributes belong to a woman?
Well, I think there's a whole array of things that go into that. I mean, you could say, what is
identifies
a
a
woman
man?
here? Like in America, girls with they have long hair and dresses, but like here in this culture, they don't. And like, there's different things that attribute to what it means to be a woman and wherever
But
you
every
come
culture
from.
has a
and
man and a
time,
woman.
and different things. Not necessarily, not actually, hardly at all. A lot of old timey cultures have third genders. A lot of cultures don't even have the concept of a gender.
I mean, gender wasn't really.
It
a
was
thing
very,
until
very
much later in
fluid.
the U.S. It was just sex.
Do you know who John Money is?
No.
you really need to look into John Money.
Why?
He was like kind of the founder of like trans activism. We'll put it that way.
Okay, whatever.
No. Like,
Yeah.
look up Dr. John Money.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
I'll do it after the show.
He caused 2 kids to commit suicide.
Right. There's something I've noticed about you right-wing Republican Christians here, or whatever you...
I'm not a Republican.
I know. But
I'm
like...
a centrist.
I want to kill you.
Why'd you want to kill me? I'm smarter.
Because
than you.
you've...
Because you're a centrist. You
Yeah,
keep saying you're
exactly.
a centrist, and it's making me angry.
I'm smarter than both sides because I know that being in the center is the best.
You're just a coward.
I'm not a coward.
You're a spineless coward.
Dude, you're a
You're not
communist.
willing to fight
You
for
are
any
a
cause.
communist. You
You're
have
just
no
like...
opinion.
You're not
Let's
willing to fight the
just-
government, dude.
Let's just...
Shut
all
up.
just
all
get
of this.
along.
Shut up. Shut up. You centralist, you're a loser.
I'm not a
Libertarian
loser.
boy over there, you're just as big of a loser. And Josh,
I'm a sweet summer child.
no. You're cute and funny.
I'm not a loser.
You're
I'm a
cute.
southern.
You're
I'm a
cute and funny.
I'm a southern boy.
Okay, we're off topic. What were you guys talking about?
We're talking about how centrists are spineless and they don't want to fight for any cause.
Yeah, okay,
Correct.
dude.
Because, God
And how
forbid...
they believe that the state should exist.
I'm
Yeah.
really smarter than you.
Yeah, because you are pro-government.
What's your IQ, pal?
I have a 120.
My grandma made me take an IQ test when I was a kid because she was worried I was dumb, and it turns out I was just like had ADD or something. And I have an IQ of 126 last time I checked.
You beat me by 6
Do you
points.
actually?
Yeah.
He's behind me.
Oh, big 5 head over here. Hey,
Yeah.
do you want to talk
He's
about
got-
the
he's got an IQ
legitimacy of IQ tests?
He's
Because
got an
it's
IQ
kind of nonsense.
He's got an IQ of 420.
No, that's not.
Nice. Stupid. No, yeah, IQ tests are nonsense, and I don't believe in that they actually measure intelligence.
Oh, your score was too low, so you don't want to believe it. I got it. I understand. Okay.
126 is like really high.
Yeah, relatively high.
Yeah.
I boasted about it a lot as a child.
Mine's
Yeah, I
higher,
boasted about my
though.
120.
So like, and then I realized that IQ tests are a terrible way to measure intelligence.
Do you know how I know that's true? What you just said? Because I took a test and I had like a 98.
All right.
2
Yeah.
points below average.
Yeah. And all you guys in here have a higher IQ than me, and you guys are just
We're here.
trouble.
We're all here anyway.
in trouble.
Anyway,
Does anybody crave Chinese food?
never.
Dude, we just ate.
Right now?
And I work at
We
a
just
Chinese
ate.
restaurant, so I can't stand Chinese food.
I don't know
See,
what
this
it is,
is
but
why
every
this is
time
why
I
you're
see-
communist. You don't have any marketable skills, so you just want to take from everyone else.
How dare you?
Do you think Chinese spots
What do you-
cook like dogs?
I would be willing to, like, the joke is always. I'll get to you in a second, sir. The joke is that
I've never
the Chinese
seen a meat
restaurant
shipment, bro.
That's the thing is the joke is that the Chinese restaurant is always built by a the adoption center, like
Okay.
pet adoption centers. My Chinese restaurant is built next to a daycare. I'm feeding you white children. Just
White
kidding.
children?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
What, do they taste the best?
A lot of fat on them, I bet. So, I'm just kidding. No,
Are you saying
seriously,
white people are superior?
I'd be seriously, no, absolutely not, except in taste, but not like their taste in things. Because
You mean like your taste in people? Your taste in
We're
people
having a
is
fun
like,
semantics game here. Back to you don't have any marketable skills and that's why you're a communist nonsense. I'd be willing to bust my ass every single day if it meant that I just got like somewhere to live. And I am doing that today, honestly. We're happily doing that. Right now, I have a job. I have a place to live. Barely can afford it, but I have a place to live.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
So like, go fuck yourself.
But
I know how to drive a car.
It's my fault that I'm barely able to afford it. That's because
It's your fault.
it is.
Yeah,
because
it isn't the system in place
well
at all.
No. I voluntarily chose to get a credit card and stack up $13,000 in debt.
Yeah, because when did you do that?
From ages 18 to
Yeah, because
18.
we believe that people have the responsibility to handle money correctly when we only have like maybe a half a semester of a class called personal finance in our schools, and then we trust them to go get a credit card.
What happens if you get cold?
What kind of stupid question
Like
is
if you
this?
get chilly?
Okay. I don't
I
know.
mean,
I
I'd eat
think
the
there's a
chili.
whole
What
lot of
happens
things that you could do.
If I get a
happens
bowl
when
of
you get
chili, I might eat it.
You know, I think I'm just gonna
Not
go.
food, not edible, just like cold. What do you do?
Could
If I get
you?
cold chili?
What
I
type
put it in
of?
the
I'm not
Like if
engaging
it-
this.
Like
I'm
if
not.
If it's like 40 degrees
I really
out,
don't want to engage in this because I
And
feel
you're
like
just-
this is going to be really stupid and a waste
it's
of my
cold.
time.
You put
What
on
do
a
you do?
coat.
You put on a coat.
Oh my god! Or you cuddle up to someone you like.
Or you like mess with the thermostat.
Start a fire.
Yeah.
Go ahead and close this out, Preston.
Close this out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. That's the end of the David.
Okay, maybe we should just have Jacob go ahead.
Oh
and
yeah,
close
the
this out.
Jacob show. It's Jacob. I always think your name is David.
All right, Josh, do you have any final remarks to the audience?
Jesus was a socialist. Communism is the way. Capitalism only promotes the split between classes that causes all conflict within societies. I've had a good time. Thank you for being respectful, and thank you for taking the time to talk with me and listen to my ideas.
I appreciate it.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Do you have anything to say?
Why is this microphone like springy, bro?
So,
All right.
no, he doesn't.
So this will conclude the first and probably last episode of the Jacob Daily Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have appreciated this conversation, and I hope that you have as well.
Oh. Sorry.